After having a collection of more than 100 plants, the least thing you can think of is starting your whole collection again. But what if something was to happen and you have to start your whole collection again? Well, today I'm going to be showing you guys the plants that I would rebuy if I was to start my whole collection from scratch. Hello everyone, it's Diana. Welcome. Or if you've been here, welcome back to another video. Thank you all so much for returning and for your continuous support. I greatly appreciate you guys. So I'm going to be showing you guys 10 plants. And I do have a bonus one at the end of the video, but I'm going to be showing you guys 10 plants that I will rebuy. These plants are in no specific order, and just because they're on this list doesn't mean necessarily that they're my favorite one, but somehow they just have made my houseplanty journey just a little bit more enjoyable. Now, with that being said, with most of these plants, I have never had any pets issues, and that is probably the reason why I strongly consider having them in this list. All right, let's start with the number one, and that is my Aglaonema Silver beige. So this baby has been with me for more than 5 years. Once again, she has never given me any grief. She thrives in any lighting situation. Like she's been in plenty different spots in my living room, and she doesn't throw a fit. She is also very drought tolerant. Sometimes I neglect her in the sense where I completely forget to water her, but she does grow very big and bushy. And another thing, she barely drops any leaves. Like, I barely see her dropping any leaves. Now, I got this plant from a former employer. They were planning on getting rid of most of their plants, and I asked if I was able to take this one home and another plant that I'm going to be showing you guys later on. But oh my gosh, she's heavy. Hold on, you guys. So yeah, they were planning on throwing away their plants because they were infested with fungus gnats, which is the reason why they actually allow me to take her with me. One thing that I like about this plant is the elongated leaves, the dark edges with the middle silver. The variegation on this plant is stable, therefore you will never lose the leaf pattern. And this plant just, I don't know, it just makes my heart melt. I am very emotionally attached to this plant. Once again, it is one of the plants that has been with me for the longest. So yeah, I think she will definitely die with me. Okay, so my second one is my Epipremnum golden Pothos. Now, I did water her not so long ago, and she's peeing on me. So por eso el pañito, because she's currently peeing on me. Anyways, besides that, so I have this plant the same as my Aglaonema Silver beige. This is actually the other plant that I took from my former employer. So she's been with me for a little bit more than 5 years. About 1.5 years ago, I actually started her from scratch. I took a couple cuttings, and I have her she's currently in 2 different pots. So I'm thinking of repotting her together and, I don't know, let her trail down. She is very full and lush, as you guys can see. She also thrives in any lighting situation, and she is also very drought tolerant. Do I recommend for you guys not to water her? No, because you will see a decrease on the leaf size if she's not hydrated, but she tolerates being drought. And if you was to put this plant in a moss pole, you will see gorgeous, enormous leaves with, I believe she can also fenestrate. She has a very dark foliage, and some leaves, well, it depends on the lighting situation, but some leaves can come out with a little bit of variegation, which makes the plant just absolutely stand out. She's gorgeous, and no matter how you style it, this plant she looks good. I think that's the reason why she's like one of the most common house plants. This plant is very, very common. So the reason why I ended up cutting this plant back is because she did get spider mites. When I started collecting plants, I bought so many different Alocasias which were sitting next to her, and unfortunately she suffered from spider mites. But other than that, she has never had any issues. Okay, so next is my Monstera Deliciosa, and as you guys can see, she is working on another leaf. Why is my hand shaking so much? So I've had this plant for 1 year now. I actually grew this one for a little bit over 1 year, but I grew this one from a seed. So I am very attached to this plant. I don't think I will ever get rid of this plant, just because I I grew this one from seed. She does not mind growing in a low light situation, but the higher lighting that you give her, the better, because she would reward you with a massive leaf in a shorter period of time. She also enjoys being a little drought. I don't water this one as much. And once again, she has never given me any grief. So since I've had her, she actually lost 2 leaves, which were the oldest leaves. And she has given me 2 fenestrated leaves. I don't know if this one's gonna come out fenestrated because I don't think it has any fenestrations, but the lighting situation where she's currently at the moment is different. So I was expecting for her to either downsize the leaves or not give me any fenestration. So it's okay. I'm not like beating myself for it. One thing that I do love about this plant is just like the dark foliage and the fenestration. Who doesn't like a fenestrated leaf? Also, if you guys can see like the line right in the middle and the venation, that's something that I love. So next on the list is my Hoya Krohniana Splash. Now this is one of my favorite plants. I'm not gonna lie. She is on the favorite list, but I've had this plant for 1 year. Well, a little bit over a year. Never had any issues with her. She thrives in any lighting situation as well, although as a Hoya I think she would prefer a higher lighting situation, but since she has dark foliage, she doesn't mind a lower light. Does have the dark foliage with the splashiness, which is something that I love about Hoya. So once again, this plant has been in my collection for a little bit over a year. She was really small when I purchased her. If I'm not mistaken, I believe she was in a 2-inch pot. Her leaves are quite succulent-y, and once again, I just love the foliage in this plant. I love the splashiness. I've heard the Hoya Krohniana Splash are prolific bloomers, so I'm just waiting for her to bloom for me. Her blooms are stinking cute too, so I just can't wait for her to bloom. Okay, so next is my Anthurium Magnificum hybrid. Although this is not a favorites video, she is another one that I think that's one of my, well, I don't know, that's hard to say. Regardless of it, she made it to this video because although she does have a couple broken leaves, she has never given me any grief. I've had this plant for about a year now. She typically doesn't fuss about the humidity in the house. Usually during the winter time, the humidity in my house drops to the teens. So that's one of the reasons why I say that I will rebuy her, repurchase her without even thinking about it. She is on the thirstier side, like most of Anthuriums. They're like consistent moist, but as you guys can see, she gets massive leaves. Look at that leaf. Oh my god, and I can't wait for the next one. I actually bought this plant from Home Depot. She was in one of those H2O containers from Proven Winners, and I transferred her to soil after 4 months of being in my care. A month later, she gave me this leaf, and one thing I just love about this plant is the heart-shaped leaves and the sparkling venation. And also when the new leaves emerge, they emerge in a dark red color, which is stunning. It is stunning. All right, so next is my Philodendron Red Sun, and I have stressed so many times that I really don't like this plant, but since I got this plant, she has been so good. I've had no pest issues. When I did get her, she suffered a little bit throughout transit, and most of her leaves were melting, and that's the reason why, I don't know if you guys are able to see, but there's multiple leaves that I had to cut back. So I've had this plant for about 6 months, a little bit over 6 months. She thrives in low humidity and she's more drought tolerant than other philodendrons. I know like my Philodendron Variegated, she doesn't like to dry out. This one, sometimes I forget to water her, I'm not gonna lie. She is so easygoing, and I actually got this plant from a giveaway from a Palm Street Live. Once again, not a plant that I wanted to buy, but it was free. I mean, free plants are the best, right? So there are 2 plants in this pot. As you guys can see, this is like the mother plant, the bigger plant, and there is one smaller plant back here, which both plant has given me 2 leaves while being in my care. She is working on pushing a 3rd leaf on the mother plant. And one thing that I like about this plant is the red I mean, there's a reason why it's called the Red Sun Philodendron. Her leaves come out with this red color to it, and then after time it fades to the green. But this leaf has been out for, I want to say, about 2 months already, and it's still red. So she holds on to the red for a really long time, which is something that I like. So yeah, when I first got this plant, I wasn't even sure if I was going to keep her, but for sure, she is one that is going to be staying in my collection. And for sure, it's one that I would rebuy if I would have to start my whole collection from scratch. Now, this next plant shouldn't be any news for anybody. She is my Begonia Black Magic. And for sure, this is another favorite plant in my collection. There's just, I just love this begonia. Out of all my begonias, yes, hands down my favorite. So I've had this plant for a little bit over a year. She grows like a freaking weed, thrives in any humidity, tolerates any kind of lighting. I will say that she is more on the thirstier side, but that is very common for begonia. So yes, she is so easygoing. There's just everything to love about this begonia. So I bought this plant from Palm Street when I was just getting into begonia. She is an angel wing begonia with a very dark, deep green, almost black looking foliage. The back of her leaves are red like most of begonias. I'm not saying all begonias, but most of them do have like that red burgundy back leaves. Her leaves are just freaking stunning. And her leaves are kind of hairy too. One thing that I will say that I find really strange about my begonia is that I've noticed that 2 of her leaves have come out with those pink dots, which is weird because that has never happened to me. But I did notice that on that leaf, and there's another, oh, there's another leaf there, which is weird because I have never seen that happening in this begonia, but it's fine as long as the other leaves don't come out like that. I need to put her in a trellis because she's overgrowing the acrylic sticks, and she needs a little bit more support. So that is something that I'm going to be doing soon in an upcoming video. So next is my Syngonium No ID. I do have her as a pink chocolate, but I'm not sure if that's the correct name for it. So if anyone can identify this plant for me, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Oh, I had this plant for about 3 years and a half. This one is also another one that grows like a freaking weed. I cut this back and restarted the whole plant from Wessex, and this is actually what she has grown into. She is very drought tolerant, and although she is currently living in a no drainage situation in pond, she wasn't always in pond. I actually started this plant in soil, so yeah, she doesn't fuss about humidity. Once again, she grows like a weed. So this plant was given to me by my mother-in-law. She grew massive and wild. I want to say it about a year and a half ago, I actually decided to cut this plant back and restarted her from Wessex. That's the only reason why I ended up cutting this plant back. It was just, she was too wild, she was too massive, and so I wasn't actually liking the way she was growing. But Syngoniums are so easygoing. Like, it's a plant that I would definitely, if I'm able to know what's the name of it, if I'm able to see it at the store, I will definitely rebuy this plant. Well, I didn't buy it, but I will definitely have it in my collection. Let's put it that way. So next is my Alocasia cuprea. She has been with me for about 6 months, and she was actually living in my cabinet until recently that I had to remove her because this leaf was touching the top of the cabinet, and she was actually touching the light in the cabinet. So she was pushing out this new leaf, and I figured that this leaf was gonna come out a lot bigger than this one. So I was like, maybe I should remove her out of there. But this leaf doesn't seem as big as the other one. I don't know, we're gonna have to wait and see. She is still hardening off, so we don't know what her potential is gonna be just yet. So we're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. And yeah, so she was living once again in my cabinet, so she was receiving a higher humidity and lighting situation than the rest of the house. I do have her very close by one of the south facing windows, and currently the humidity in my house has been in the 60s, so she's not suffering as much. Now, the reason why I actually have her in this list is because when I bought this Alocasia, this is one of the mother plants that I have left, because most of my Alocasias I actually left them in soil, and yeah, I killed most of them. So when I actually got her, I immediately transferred her from soil to water, and then I ended up transferring her into pond. And ever since I transferred her, she hasn't gone through any shock. She hasn't, I mean, she lost one leaf. Very common that I was going to lose a leaf, especially when she had put out this massive leaf. Right after I got her, she started pushing out this leaf. I didn't even know that she was pregnant. She was on the clearance rack at Lowe's, but to be completely honest, there was nothing wrong with this plant. So maybe they were overstocked, and that's the reason why she ended up in the clearance rack. Not really sure, but although she is not my favorite Alocasia, I have to say that she is like the most easiest going out of all of them. Took amazingly well with the whole transfer. She's been good to me, so I have to be good to her. Okay, so next is my Jade plant, and I will say that one of the plants that I have on my wish list is the Variegated Jade. And I love this plant. She has been with me for 3 years. She does thrive in a higher lighting. As you guys know, this is a succulent, so they do require a little bit more light. Super drought tolerant. Like, I could go weeks without actually watering this plant, like most other succulents too. So she has always been close to windows. She sun stresses beautifully. She loves to be rebound. I've had her for 3 years, and I have only potted her up once. I have propagated this one so many different times, and it's just because I do want to maintain her looking a little bit compacted and bushy. So yeah, as long as this baby gets a lot of lighting, she would love you for the rest of her life. Now, as you guys can see, she is growing a little bit wild. I did shop her here, which I don't know if you guys are able to see, but she has 2 leaves growing in both sides. But I do gotta make a couple more shops because she is growing a little bit wild. Like, I want this to grow a little bit more. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with her, but I love this plant so much. And as you guys can see, the sun stress is just beautiful. Okay, and now for my extra is my string of hearts variegated. And as you guys can see, she is super long. I love this plant. So I've had this plant for a little bit over a year. She is a prolific grower. You want a really fast growing plant, get yourself a string of heart variegated. As long as you actually water her, don't go by her leaves are more on the succulent side. They don't require a lot of water. No, water your plant. I actually water this plant like most of my other house plants. Every time I see that the pot is starting to feel light, that's when I go ahead and water her. I don't wait until she's like completely dry. Also, she does live in a east facing window, so she receives a lot of morning light. As you guys can see, I have made multiple chops. I have cut this one back a couple times, and she grows like a freaking weed. So once again, I've had this plant for about a year, and this is actually the first time that she has bloomed for me. She has multiple blooms. I don't know if you guys are able to see it, but she's blooming. She is blooming for me. She is happy. And I think that I'm going to be repotting her soon because I can see a lot of roots at the bottom. I mean, they're not coming out through the bottom of the pot, but I can see them. I've never had any issues with this plant. Oh, I just dropped a bloom. I'm sorry. All right, let me put her back. All right, we have made it to the end of the video. If you watched the whole entire video, leave me a pink heart emoji for the string of hearts. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you're new here or haven't subscribed, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. I upload videos every Sunday at 3 p.m. EST time. Also, feel free to interact with me in any kind of way in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.